Hello, everybody, and good morning, good day, good afternoon, whatever it is. This is a quick introductory video to Qrft, Qrft. It's available on GitLab today at gitlab.com/Qrft/Qrft. Qrft is a lightweight orchestrator for Kubernetes deployments. The goal isn't to replace tools like Helm or in your YAML manifests or your bash scripts. It's to orchestrate those things together. The goal is not to replace things like Terraform, Ansible, GitLab, GitHub pipelines, right? It's to embed into those things lightweight little tool that predictably deploys specification files over and over. So you can think of a spec file as a recipe, and then we're gonna, input our ingredients that we want on top of that. Just kind of as nothing up my sleeves later on, we're going to use localhost 8080. You can see right now there's nothing there. We're going to use kind today. So if I look, I have a tools directory here where I've got kind, I've got Helm, and I've got kube control. That's because we might need different versions of kube control or Helm for different environments or different customers, different clients. And, the idea behind Qrft is I've had to deploy Kubernetes clusters over and over, probably thousands of different clusters, different configurations, and every customer has this, oh, we have our own way of deploying an environment. And generally, they're either deploying Helm charts or they're deploying manifest files, and minimal configuration changes between those environments. Maybe things like in dev, we're deploying everything into one namespace, while in stage and prod, we're deploying, Redis into its own namespace, and we're deploying Kafka into its own namespace, and the product goes into its own namespace, right? Things along those lines. So Qrft is designed for those situations where, these predictable features, which a feature is a unit of deployment, and we're deploying it into specific areas. So today, let's go ahead and stand up a kind cluster. And while that's standing up, let's take a quick look at what Qrft looks like, or at least what we're going to deploy, right? So what we're going to deploy is one of our examples. We have two examples that shipped with Qrft today. Kong Kitchen Sink, which is a microservices kind of deployment where we deploy Kong, we deploy several different microservices behind it, and then we can deploy that across multiple environments. And then we have our simple environments, which is just a hello world, where we are basically deploying it's live whenever you get all the wonderful little pop-ups in there, right? We're basically just deploying the HashiCorp Echo. You can see that each environment has its own args file, and the prod and stage have their own YAML or values YAML file, right? This is the configuration for our spec. So it's a simple multi-environment example. These are the arguments that are expected, and these are the features. We have two features total. The hello world, which is deploying from a Helm chart, and then the smoke test that gets run afterward. By now, yep, we have it up and running. So let's go ahead and take a quick look. All right, we'll do tools. Actually, we'll do bin Qrft config. And we are going to do examples, environments, config. We're going to tell it where to find Helm, and that's at tools Helm. We're going to tell it where to find kube control, and that's at tools kube control. And we're going to give it an args file at examples, environments, dev, args. then we're going to give it a command. So let's go ahead and do a plan on that, which shows us that we're going to deploy hello from into hello dev, and then we're going to run a smoke test. We can run a status, and we can see that it is not installed today. We can run an install in dry run mode, and we can see basically the bash equivalent of what we're going to do. And let's go ahead and install dev. And we see our smoke test output. Do encourage you to go take a look. I'm trying to fit this all into 15 minutes, for free on LinkedIn and YouTube and etc. So at this point, we can cube control, port forward, namespace, hello, dev, the service is hello, and we're going to go 8080 to 80 on the container, and we get hello from the dev environment. Great. Let's go ahead and deploy that same thing. Let's deploy it into stage environment. And prod. Again, we'll port forward, stage, hello from the stage environment, and prod, hello from the production environment. Now, of course, on larger deployments, real deployments, we're going to have gateways in there and ingress, and we'll cover all that in future videos. Really quickly, I want to go back and show the status, and where now we can see that the Helm chart is deployed. All right. So that's just a quick high-level introductory to Qrft. Take a look out here. We've got an extensive documentation site that covers things like getting started, CLI reference, spec reference, execution and runtime, all the wonderful things that you would expect. The source and examples are, again, on GitLab. Developer reference, README, to-dos, and agents markdown, which is what's used by Codex in order to actually build the Go code and provide the, where did it go, release. So today's release is 0.1.30. It's pretty easy to build Qrft. Run build.sh. As long as you've got Go installed, it builds it locally for you. Or of course, you can just download our pre-built binary for your OS of choice. Look forward to all the feedback that I can get. Information. One of the near things that I'll be adding is the ability to build and deploy a spec from a URL, so from Git, etc. Today you have to download the specs and actually run them locally, as well as the ability to add on new tools. Again, today it uses Helm, and it runs manifest, and it can run a basic bash script. So hopefully that's useful. Thanks for taking a look. Look forward to your contributions. Even if they're, negative feedback or whatever, definitely want to hear it, want to know all about what you think, where you'd like to see things go. So, thanks again.